Boeing and the Smithsonian really focus a lot on STEM education programs for girls. And so the question was, were there any kind of programs like that for you?
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Of course. No, there were zero programs when I was elementary, junior high, high school. However, I had great teachers. My math teacher, who was in second year algebra, saw me do all my homework in class while he's teaching that chapter. And he looked at that, and I never know whether it made him mad or he just thought, I need to give this girl more work. I applied for a job as an engineer's aide right out of high school. I got the job. I had a wonderful, immediately that first summer, supervisor who told everybody, no, this is not a coffee girl. She's going to be an engineer someday.
I did not have this big plan to be in the space program. I graduated from the University of Texas with a degree in mathematics, and I found a job as a computerist. I thought, a gendered computer? What is this? I had never heard such a title before in my life.
When I went to the Johnson Space Center, I went as a National Research Council research associate to study the changes in the fluid and electrolyte metabolism, hormonal control in spaceflight crews. I was the only woman in the group except for a couple of technical types.
You know, we were sprinkled around, just one here and there, and yet somehow or another we were part of a team.
Coming back to the Earth from the Moon is so different from coming back from Earth orbit that the retrofire officers, the people in the control center, were not experienced at using the program. And so we were asked, the people that developed this program, to go over and sit in the control center to help on that. So I was privileged to be over there for Apollo 8, 10, 11, 12, and yes, 13. And my work was used in every one of the Apollo missions.
I knew at the time on Apollo 11 I was working on something incredibly important. It was my first launch to be in the firing room. I mean, I'd been there working on propellant loads and other activities, but they didn't let me sit there at liftoff. There was always a man at that console, and my boss went to bat and got permission for me to sit there. And all of a sudden, it made a difference. I got seen by everybody, and my boss said, well, she's been working here for 10 years. Isn't it about time?
Personally, I had people say unpleasant things to me, like, I'd like to get him promoted because he deserves it, not because he's a woman, you know, those kinds of things. But as I may have mentioned earlier, or should have mentioned, is that I outlasted those people. I stayed. They retired, they died, they went to work somewhere else. I stayed.
I never had anyone say you couldn't do it, except the society as a whole said you couldn't do it, okay? So why did I need, you know, why do you need individual people to tell you that when the society as a whole tells you you can't? But I guess I didn't really appropriately get the message, okay? Because I came in as a computerist. I worked there for, you know, I was doing people's crunching numbers for these engineers. And about 2-3 months in, I just looked around the room and I thought, I'm as smart as these guys, okay? But they're making a lot more money than me. But I recognized that in order to be accepted as a member of the team, in order to be thought of as the equal of these guys, I was going to have to work the same way these guys were, whether I got paid or not.
I think the big issue about having so few women at the time is that they did not know they could come to work there. They did not know and as soon as NASA decided to advertise and bring women in on research associates and college students and all, then women took a bigger role. And of course, years later, we decided to select and train women astronauts, and that really opened the doors for women to come to work there.
I'm so happy to see all of these young women in the room, because people think that we are inspirations. I'm inspired by you. And I hope that you will not be hidden figures. I hope you will be out and about and screaming your name to encourage other women to go into this exciting area.
Thank you, Papa.